Hi my salty pecans, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Pamela, and buddy over here roaming around is Miss Jinx. And on today's video we are going to be talking about something that I don't really find is spoken much about here in the online plant community, in the houseplant community. I have myself spoken about it in the past, you know, in regards to just the realities of being a plant parent and yet still being a normal human being in society. And this is in regards to houseplants, vitamin D, and depression, if you want to even call it that. So if you're interested in just this video, this topic that I think is so important, and again, it's nothing to be ashamed of, it's nothing to feel like you're different, you're wrong for, but it's again something for me that I personally would love to speak to you, all my salty pecans, on. So if you're interested in just this topic, watching this video, then keep on watching. So welcome back everybody. I do have my phone because I have like a whole document of information and just points that I want to make sure I, relay in this video. So I will be looking down at my phone, but for the most part, I'm just chatting with you all. But before I get into the video, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. Join this little kooky family. We are salty pecans. That is what I name my fam. Join us, subscribe, and comment, like. So here we go. We are now in November. So that means if you live above the equator, it is leading into winter. We all in the autumn fall season now. Do you notice around the cooler, colder months, seasons, you tend to be a bit more somber and melancholy like? Well, it's not just you going through random-ish. There's so many different reasons and factors for this. It's because of the change in seasons. It's, daylight savings. I remember literally a month or two ago, it would be 8 p.m. and it's bright out, and now by the time it's 5 p.m., by the time it's 4:30, it's getting dark. 5 p.m., I'm out of the train station and it is pitch black as I'm walking home. So on top of just life, our environment really does play a major factor in our moods and our feelings and how we are just operating in this space we call life. Now with the positioning of the sun, we are getting less sunlight, we are absorbing less vitamin D, and of course vitamin D is such an important vitamin. So for me, less sunlight means less vitamin D. Less vitamin D means an increased risk of depression. You might have heard either on television or through other people about seasonal depression. That is such a real thing. It is real, it is not a joke. A healthy mind is the base for a healthy plant parent who can then tend to healthy plants and keep their plant collection healthy. An article posted in the U.S. National Libraries of Medicine states, vitamin D insufficiency affects almost 50% of the population worldwide, an estimated 1 billion people worldwide. Across all ethnicities, all age groups have a vitamin D deficiency, and it's abbreviated VDD. But what is vitamin D though? According to the Mayo Clinic, vitamin D is a nutrient your body needs for building and maintaining healthy bones. That's because your body can only absorb calcium, the primary component of bones, when vitamin D is present. Vitamin D also regulates many other cellular functions in your body. Its anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and neuroprotective properties support immune health, muscle function, and brain cell activity. So here's the biology of the sunshine vitamin. Vitamin D is unique because it can be made in the skin from exposure to sunlight. Vitamin D exists in two forms. Vitamin D is obtained from the UV irradiation of the yeast sterol ergosterol and is found naturally in sun-exposed mushrooms. UVB light from the sun strikes the skin and humans synthesize vitamin D. So So it is the most natural form. Human beings do not make vitamin D2. And most oil-rich fish such as salmon, mackerel, herring contain vitamin D3. Vitamin D represents vitamin D2 and vitamin D3 or both. That is ingested is incorporated into chylomicrons, which is absorbed into the lymphatic system and enters the venous blood. But I bet you're probably like, Pam, why the heck are we talking about vitamin D and plants? The reason that I'm mentioning vitamin D is to let you know that it is not your fault. You are perfectly okay. You are perfectly normal. There's nothing wrong with you as to why you're feeling down. So many factors contribute to that, including seasonal change, hormonal imbalance, environmental changes, so on and so forth. I personally am not a licensed physician, so I can't tell you what to do medically. I plan on taking vitamin D supplements during the winter months. I have gotten checked by my PCP, my primary care physician, and with blood work, it was determined that I do have low vitamin D. So my PCP has recommended that I personally can take some vitamin D supplements, especially during the winter months, to help increase my vitamin D levels. For me, I know that during the winter months, I tend to get down and out randomly. Life can just be as ideal as I'd ever wanted. Everything could be perfect, but just mentally, I'm not here. I'm not able to just interact and just be here the way I feel like I normally would be. I found also that plants and plant care have positively impacted my life. What I also was not realizing was that I was purchasing plants when my mental state was very high at its best, and also my vitamin D at the same time was also at a higher level. So I'm purchasing plants in a good spirits, happy mood. I'm able to take care of these plants because I'm here, my levels are good, and then just like that, things change. So like in the summertime, I'm able to upkeep 200 plant collection. I'm able to do my little summer routine. I know, okay, I have to water these plants 2-3 times a week in order to keep them alive here in the crazy, dry, hot New York summers. But when the leaves started falling outside, the leaves inside were also falling. And you can interpret the leaves falling inside literally and physically with my plants, but also metaphorically with my mental state. The leaves were drying up in my head, and I too was getting into this winter state along with nature. We are natural, we are human beings inside of this planet, and we go with the rhythm that is life. And sometimes when you are aware of how you're feeling, you can, in a way offset those natural reactions. So again, like I said, I am not a physician. I'm not letting anyone know that they have to do this, but I do think this is a conversation, a topic that people don't talk about. And you shouldn't feel bad for, honestly, in the warmer months, in the summertime, being able to upkeep your collection and have happy, thriving, lush growing plants. But then when it starts to get a little colder, you're seeing your cohorts continue to have these bustling, thriving collections, but you yourself, you're struggling a little bit, and you feel even worse about yourself because you're not able to maintain and upkeep your collection. I say this to say maybe I also contributed to my mental decline because I was seeing this joy and happiness more as work and stress. Before, 200 plants was not enough. Like, yes, you can't have too many plants. Because of this, I lost a good amount of pricey plants. It's okay to lose plants. What's more important is not to lose yourself, not to lose your mental state, not to lose your essence. Another recommendation to offset this, like I mentioned, vitamin D, another recommendation is to decrease your collection, lessen the amount of plants that you are actually owning, that you have in your collection. I know we want to be a Pokemon trainer, we got to catch them all, we want to have every plant that exists out there in our collection, but maybe you are contributing to your stress even more by having more plants in your collection. I am in no way by no means a minimalist. I am a maximalist. The more the merrier. Like I said, I have had 200 plus plants in my collection. But again, what it is, it's quality, not quantity. I was happier when I had 30 plants, knowing that I'm able to maintain them and have these lush, thick, big plants. Why have a bunch of cars with broken parts when you can just have 3 fully operational machines? This is the same concept with plants. Why struggle with a collection, a large collection that you're trying to keep at bay to keep healthy, when you can refine it and not get overwhelmed at the thought of watering day, at the thought of plant maintenance, plant care? You know, also what I realized when I was in these colder, cooler months and I seen plant watering as a chore, all I could think is, oh my gosh, it's going to take a few hours because these plants, they need to soak, you know, they have to have my attention, I have to keep coming back, you know, and doing this and doing that. So it actually became a lot of work. And again, in the warmer months it was perfectly fine, but in the cooler months I just seen it as a chore. And again, it was because I just had too many plants, on top of just me mentally just feeling, you know, a little down and out, and just would rather be at home in my bed instead of being at home watering plants and doing chores. So I'm trying to get ahead of the curve. As I mentioned, I'm going to plan on, well, I already am increasing my vitamin D intake, and over the past few months I have downsized my collection. I've propagated and sold propagations, and I've also sold off other plants. I've traded things that I don't need because I cannot personally afford to lose any more plants. I cannot personally afford to let this joy of mine, I love this, I love my plants, but I also love myself even more. And knowing that, hey Pam, maybe with your deficient vitamin D levels and maybe with having too many plants, let's see what we can do about that. Hey, you know, get your vitamin D levels under control, and you know what, maybe decrease and control your plant collection, your plant population, so it is not too much work for you on the days when it comes to doing your plant maintenance care and chores. So now with the decrease in my plant collection, I am able to water my plants, all of them in one sitting. I don't have to worry about having to do multiple rounds of watering, multiple hours of sitting and waiting for my plants to absorb and soak and do X, Y, and Z. Of course, here and there, every now and then, there will be a plant that needs a bit more TLC, and that's absolutely fine. But if all my plants need TLC at the same time and there's a lot, I cannot do it. And if you can't do it too, you know, maybe just check out your own doctor, talk to your doctor if you are someone who sometimes goes through the winter blues, and see what your doctor recommends. Check your, you know, blood levels, see what you're deficient in, see what you're good in, and stay ahead of the curve. Know your body. It's very important for you to be healthy inside and out, because again, if you are not good, who's going to be here to take care of your plant collection? Okay, so yeah, that is all I want to say. Again, I am not a licensed physician, I'm not a doctor, I'm not here to tell anyone what to ingest or take into their body, but this is just what I'm going to do for myself with my own licensed professional who recommended these things to me. So I'm going to do that, and let's have a conversation. I might make more of these videos, like following up, comparing myself to like how I was feeling last year around the colder months, you know, the forthcoming months, and you know, just trying to see if I'm able to deal with what I have, my collection all over the house now. And that is all. Thank you so much, my salty pecans. If you like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up and sharing. Subscribe if you aren't already. Join this little kooky family because we're pretty awesome here. Become a salty pecan, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified every time I upload a new video. And I'll see you in the next one. Let's get going. Bye.